In 1945, during the final push into Germany, a U.S. infantry unit disappears after refusing a direct order. Everyone assumes they died in a German ambush. But one soldier's journal is found 78 years later, sealed behind a wall in an abandoned farmhouse, detailing what really happened, and why the army erased them from history. It says, "We weren't killed by the Germans. We were killed by our own orders." If you love dark World War II stories based on real psychology and hidden files, like the video and subscribe. Let's go back to February 1945. February 21, 1945. The 317th U.S. Infantry is freezing in the snow outside a German village called Eisenfeld, a cluster of barns, stone houses, and one church tower watching the valley like a sniper. Corporal David Hale, 21 years old, keeps a notebook inside his jacket, not for poetry, but because writing is the only thing keeping him sane. His unit has spent 6 weeks pushing through forests where every tree might hide a rifle, every farmhouse might be booby-trapped. They're exhausted. Yesterday they lost 7 men to one machine gun they never even saw. Morale is gone. But this morning, a messenger jeep arrives with a sealed order from Battalion HQ. Lieutenant Henry Carter gathers his men inside a half-destroyed barn. The roof is missing, snow falls straight onto the mud floor. The men listen. The order is simple, too simple. Advance into Eisenfeld at dawn. Do not wait for artillery support. Take the village intact. Sergeant Fox raises his eyebrow. Where's the artillery? Germans dug in the houses will tear us apart. The lieutenant doesn't answer. Corporal Hale looks around. The men know the math. Dawn means silhouette targets. Machine guns, choke points, kill zones. No artillery means someone, somewhere, needs Eisenfeld untouched. Why? Inside the barn, the wind blows through holes in the wall. Someone's teeth chatter. Lieutenant Carter folds the paper. We move at 0500. Anyone falls behind, don't wait. Nobody sleeps that night. Before sunrise, they move, ghosts in white snow capes. The village sits dark. No lights. No dogs. Even the birds are gone. Their boots crunch in snow like bones. Private Reed whispers. Where is everyone? A fog hangs low over the church. Inside the village, windows are boarded from the inside. Doors chained. As if the residents locked themselves in. No gunfire. No German voices. This isn't an ambush. It's an absence. Corporal Hale signals to stack on a door. Sergeant Fox kicks it in. A family dining table. Plates still set. Food frozen in place. Chairs overturned. Whatever happened. Happened fast. House after house. Same scene. Then they find it. In the church basement, behind the baptism room. A metal door. Bent outward. Something forced its way out, not in. The soldiers shine lights inside. There are scratches on the walls. Fingernails, not tools. Dozens of them. And in the corner. Military crates. American crates. Sergeant Fox reads the stencils. USS Ellenbrook, medical. But the crate numbers are scratched off. Before they can open them. The church bell rings. Not by a priest. By the wind. It echoes through the empty streets. The unit freezes. Someone is watching. Then gunfire. From behind them. Not German. American calibers. Someone is firing .30-06 from the hills. The lieutenant screams. Take cover. Bullets snap into stone, throwing sparks. Private Reed shouts. That's our ammo. That's M1 fire. But nobody can see the shooters through fog. The unit returns fire. But there's nothing to hit. 10 minutes later, silence again. Just fog. Just breath. Lieutenant Carter's face is pale. He realizes something they don't. There shouldn't be any friendly units behind them. Someone is killing their own men. Night falls. They hide in a basement. Corporal Hale finally opens one of the crates. Inside. Glass containers with medical tags. But not medicine. He finds a folder. Typewritten English. Stamped in red. Project Revival, Phase 3. Authorized. U.S. Army Medical Research. January 1945. Sergeant Fox reads over his shoulder. There's a paragraph that chills them. Subject population shows rapid recovery from fatal shock trauma. Revival window, 3 minutes. Resulting neurology is compliant, aggressive, and mission-focused. Cognitive loyalty remains to last command given before death. Private Reed whispers. What does that mean? Hale reads the last line. Once revived, they cannot be recalled. Only terminated. Silence. The crates aren't medicine. They're experiments. This village was a live test. German civilians used as test subjects. Something inside the church died. And stood back up. Lieutenant Carter sinks onto the floor. He served 3 years. He believed in the war. His father died in the Pacific. Now he's staring at a paper saying, they turned civilians into weapons. Private Reed stutters. So, the shooters were revived? Sergeant Fox answers. They died once, then someone told them to kill anyone entering Eisenfeld. The unit argues. Fear turns to anger. They weren't sent here to capture a village. They were sent to erase evidence. To die, so nobody could testify. The lieutenant makes a decision. Light shaking in his hands. We burn this church. We bury this experiment. And we go home, on our terms. They set charges. As they move through the fog. Silhouettes appear in the street. 30, 40, maybe 50 figures. All wearing German coats. But moving without fear. Without cover. Without tactics. Like soldiers following a single command. Kill all intruders. And from their throats. Not German words. Just breath. No voice. No emotion. Sergeant Fox fires first. Contact. The street becomes hell. Bullets tear through bodies. But they don't fall right away. They keep advancing. Jerking like puppets. Reed screams. They're not human anymore. The lieutenant shouts. Fall back to the church. Blow the charges. Hale covers the rear. His hands don't feel real. He's firing at faces that don't recognize pain. They slam the church doors. Fox hits the detonator. The explosion throws Hale into the snow. Timbers collapse. Stone fractures. A fireball rises. Lighting the valley like sunrise. Silence. Bodies, those things. Stop moving. Smoke rises over Eisenfeld. The experiment is dead. Or so they think. Corporal Hale sees movement. One figure. Burned, broken. Crawling out of the rubble. Trying to stand. Not ordered to die. Ordered to kill. Even through death. Hale empties his last magazine. This time, the figure stays down. At dawn, army trucks roll into Eisenfeld. Not rescue. Not reinforcements. Cleanup. Men in white medical coats. No unit patch. No names. They don't ask who survived. They ask where the crates are. The lieutenant confronts them. We lost 12 men. You used civilians. You erased us. The officer just says. You followed a lawful order. Go home, Lieutenant. Forget Eisenfeld. Hale sees a soldier taking his notebook. His only record. He grabs it back. The soldier leans in. If you publish any of this, you'll be court-martialed for treason. This is classified for 50 years. Hale realizes. The battalion won't be given medals. It will be deleted. Their families will hear. Killed in German counterattack. The truth. Buried with them. But Hale keeps his notebook. He hides it. Behind a wall. In the farmhouse. Where it was found. 78 years later. The last page of the journal is short. It's smeared with rain and blood. If anyone ever reads this, understand we weren't killed by the enemy. We were killed by orders. The experiment worked. Revival makes perfect soldiers. No fear. No conscience. No questions. Just the last command. And under it. 5 words. They can bring anyone back. Then a date. March 3, 1945. Hale's signature. But the war record says. Hale died on February 22. A week earlier. Someone signed his name. After his death. The last line, written by someone else, says. Mission complete. The journal ends. History remembers battles. It forgets what battles hide. If this story gave you chills, like the video, subscribe. And I'll bring more weekly World War II stories. Based on real hidden files and dark wartime psychology. Thanks for watching, enjoy your weekend.